is going on, beer tubers? It is Eric back at you with yet another beer review, and today we're looking at probably one of the first beers that was sent to me courtesy of my man Freddie from Craft Beer Nation. Shout out to him and his channel, and I will call it a posse. They do awesome things here on YouTube as well. Podcasts, they have a lot of guests, reviews, interviews. Check it out. I'll leave a link down below. But yeah, today we're looking at another Trillium beer, and it's a beer I'm really excited to finally dive into. It is Congress Street IPA from Trillium Brewing Company out in Boston of USA. And, this is, I believe, bottled and brewed at the first facility. And it's a really cool beer. It's a 7.2% alcohol by volume India Pale Ale, brewed with American 2-row barley, white wheat, and Cara Crystal 15 Dextrine and Dextrose sugars. They use Galaxy and Columbus in this beer. I'm really excited. I have no idea what the IBUs are. I just knew I had to get me some yeasty goodness from Trillium, and Freddie reached out to me. We set up a little trade. He's got some good stuff going back at him. I'm not sure it's on the level of this New England goodness, but hopefully he's happy. So thanks again, Freddie. This pours out like fucking orange juice. Like that, all the pulp is what it should say, is all the pulp. Even actually brighter than that. This is more yellow than golden orange, and it is haze for days, for sure. Fluffy, well-carbonated beer. I mean, the wheat has got to help with that. That just looks straight up like my last home brew. So I'm so excited. Thanks again, Freddie. Let's dive into the nose. Wow. Jesus. There is such a dank characteristic and resinous pine quality coming through with that Columbus. But then there's just this like menage a trois of like pineapple, OJ, and like a grapefruit. Wow. Just honestly smells so good. It's really nice to have like an East Coast IPA that has that dank character, that resinous character. Just that sniff though. Overripe pineapple juice. I'd say a twinge of mangoes, but really, I've got this nice balance between tropical and dankness, and my mouth is full of saliva, so let's get into it. Cheers. I have this one probably, I wouldn't call it room temp, but it's been out of the fridge for about 15-20 minutes, pre-drinking it. Yeah. This is awesome. Ever since Joe got me into the Treehouse New England style IPA, I have forever been yearning to create something that I like nearly as much. And a couple brew sessions with a couple good buddies, I wouldn't say we've nailed it, but we've certainly, my first batch of Haze for Days reminds me a lot of this beer. And it was Galaxy, Citra, Columbus, and Amarillo. So mine was a little fruitier, a little grassier, but they've got the mouthfeel down for sure. Yeah, immediately I'm just greeted like this dank, earthy, resinous, tropical fruit. And on this level, I will go out and say it. This is probably not on the juice level of like Treehouse, of a Green, or even Julius, but this has got this really nice earthy dank quality. I keep saying dank. If there was a dank counter, it'd probably be at 14 right now. It's a good word. Yeah, and then just a twinge of pineapple, twinge of like bitter lemon or grapefruit peel, some tangerine notes. Really, I swear to God, this beer is about the Columbus. Absolutely awesome. I'm not going full cocoa on this beer, that's for damn sure. Mouthfeel is definitely creamy, but it's certainly not silky, and that's okay. It drinks with some bitterness. I would say somewhere in the 50 to 70 IBUs range, maybe a little lower. JC at Trillium, you are killing it. This is something that I wish I could get every single day at my local liquor store. Not just appearance, but the flavor, the aroma, the packaging. I mean, 750 milliliters, big old Belgian bomber style. And it absolutely comes in at like $10. So, you know, people argue that's on the pricey side, which, yeah, if you're doing it every day, it certainly is. You're putting down more than one, which I really hope not. Yeah. You know, I'll go out and say it. I've only had, I think, 3 Trillium beers, and one of them was Mosaic hopped Fort Point, which I actually like more than this. It was a little bit more juicy. This is nice. This is easy drinking. It's certainly not drinking like a 7.2% beer. It's got a lot of those flavors that kind of remind me a little bit of a homage to the West Coast with that really, really herbaceous dank. Almost, yeah, it's really herbaceous. I can't put my finger on it. I don't want to call it basil because it's certainly not, but it's got, I don't know, there's something here. And you know what? I'll go out and say it. When a beer leaves you as perplexed as this, and even if it doesn't strike all those huge juice bomb notes that you come to expect from a Trillium or a Treehouse or a Hoof-Hearted or Grimm or any of those guys, this is still a fucking banger. And with that said, I'm going to go a 96 on Congress Street. I think it's really, really awesome. It's a world-class India Pale Ale. Certainly hits 95% of the notes that I really, really like. I just wish that Galaxy was a little bit more prominent. And you know what? Maybe it's a freshness factor. I know he did everything he could to get these out ASAP. This was bottled on March 8th of 2016. And you can maybe see it right there. Yep. And today, at the time of recording, is April 5th. And you know what? I think just about a month is a good time for these yeasty, hop-forward bombs, and I think, you know what, I can't imagine what this is probably like the day of, but it's awesome. I'm going 96. Thanks so much for joining me for another beer review. Thank you, Freddie, for sending this out. I've got a few more special cats in the hat, if you will, for Trillium beers, and I'm really, really excited to dive into them. I want to share them with friends. John, Barry, Joel, have those guys here on the channel, and hopefully see a little bit more of that haze, because this is beautiful. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy this, play some old school Zelda with a wife, and I will see you again in another beer review. Peace.